Hello there, welcome to another video here on the channel. I've got a couple of games that I was sent by, I think this time from Raphael, which is him and Grenooli. Just a few more games that they've played together. And they're here on this cheeky little map covered in snow, ice, rock, metal. Looks cool. Some decent tree clusters all around. And in terms of the civs, I've got Raphael here in the purple resistance and Grenooli himself is in the orange Wookiees. And they've got the cheeky curl noses to put into the nursery. A few Minocs to eat. Quite a few Minocs to eat, actually. A lot of Minocs to eat. Interesting. Be kind of fun. It kind of looks like it's going to be Mountie opener, really. Just looking at the food. Because you're maybe going to want to either do a ton of scout luring with these Minocs or just, throw down some food processors. And probably favour that over going for the food stockpile first. Is he going to munch on just one of the curl noses here? Because this is a few extra. And it's about whether or not you want to go for that second nursery or not. He is going to do that for the two of them. But in the meantime, he can eat this curl nose to keep the worker production going. Because he can't really, if he spent 100 carbon here, it's not getting spent over here. And he's actually doing a lot more scouting. Maybe hopes to find a bit more nerfs. I don't know if at the back of our mind we're always searching for like 16 nerfs from, like the vanilla sort of spawns, but it's quite rare, I think, on the expanding fronts maps these days. It's more like a sort of 13, sometimes 15, I guess, on some of them, but I think here it's just 13 nerfs for each player. Just a little bit toned down. And we see a food processor dropped here for Grenooli, so you can start eating those Minocs. Each going to give 140 food. So almost 3 workers per Minoc. You get back and you try to lure some of them as well. It's kind of good to do maybe a bit of a balance between the two things. That way you can try and cut some carbon somewhere. You see that Rask maybe going to basically put all his workers onto carbon, so probably going to favour getting a troop centre and a power core as soon as possible to get some Mountie pressure out. And then for the meantime, he's just going to lure these back and forth. Maybe going to go and try and find his opponent first during this point. He seems to be going all the way up around the map. It's kind of vital that he knows exactly where his opponent is, just so he can not have any downtime with the Mounties come out. I'm really going to be getting quite a lot of food here. He's going to have a lot less workers on carbon, though, still quite a few. Which would be kind of well set up, maybe, if he's on the defensive for Mounties, because he's going to have an easier time affording that troop centre to get those trooper recruits out. You can see one food processor and then just maybe luring this pile over as much as he can. And these are not too far to actually just let the workers natively go for them as well. It's not like a huge walking back and forth distance. You have to remember they gather up to about 35 food, so they're not making many trips back and forth. If you put about 4 around one, they'll eat the entire thing in one sitting, really. Oh, bad times. A little bit of a getting housed moment there. Easy to do when he's doing lots of other things. He had to go find his opponent, he had to rush back to lure some more, Minoc. He had to eat one of the nerfs that he had in here. I don't know if this extra food's actually worth it. It'd be great if there was more nerfs, but he maybe could have just saved the carbon and just kept them hanging around to munch them. Got the workers running back and forth from the Nova, so he can keep making the amount of troopers. Now what's Grenooli going to do? He's already got his troop centre and his power core up. He's kind of just playing like a normal sort of game. But he's maybe rushed this infrastructure just a little bit here. Looking at the map, if you've played enough games, you'll kind of see, oh, this good Mountie map. Oh, I'm playing Raphael. He always Mountie. Make troop centre power core. One of these Mounties, though, not getting the memo. A little bit stuck behind. Don't know if he's maybe planning to draw something out with this one, or he's just kind of forgotten about them. Needs to get them all together, though. What if we're going to really hear if he's going to have his troopers out, but he does have 2. 2 versus 1 will be successful. And he just needs to make sure he doesn't lose them though and always kites. We need the 3rd one right away. Yeah, not having the three of them together just means like the DPS is getting spread as well. And so this should be a good spot here for Raph if he keeps the mounty production going. I don't know if he's maybe had a little bit of a lapse there. But you see they're all on top of the workers now, and he needs to... At least he's not throwing them out one at a time, puts out two here. I don't think that's too bad because some of these are like half health. And now he's got three, he should be fine now. He just needs to not lose them, keep kiting. Go for the low ones. He spread the damage a little bit there. Okay, this is good for him now because he's T2. And Raph can't really trade anymore. So his whole point here is he's throwing down the farms, he's just got to keep the pressure on Grenooli here. So that he stays in his base while he's tech level 2, because these will become troopers. As you can see, he started the tech there. And he's got to catch up in his food, right? Because he's been throwing like 60 food every production cycle on these mounted troopers. But for now, he's got the map control. Really not being very quick to actually counterattack, though. I mean, this is horrible for Raphael here. He is on his way to T2, but then he's got the counterattack. But could have been a bit quicker with the counterattack, because I think you should just, you know, like build one turret just to cover your carbon, and then just go. And then between your turret and whatever troopers you make after getting your research, you should be fine to deal with whatever mounties have been plaguing you. But the quicker you can get across the map, you know, the more likely you are to get some damage against your opponent, force some mistakes, etc., and take advantage of this window when they're not T2. And might have to do a bit of makeshift walling here to try and keep these troopers out of the carbon. And there's a lot of angles to get in because it's quite an open map. There's a few, you know, straggler workers overextending, but you know, he's gone straight into the command center. He's lost two of them, so that's really taken the bite out of this. And Ruff's going to be T2 here. He's got his, you know, he's basically got an equal amount of troopers right now. There are 5 more on the way, but you know, look where they are. I think maybe it could be a bit quicker. I don't know. I think really though, it's just you don't lose your troopers here, and you look for the angles, right? You look for the guaranteed damage. You ignore the command center. He could be abusing the range here, but just kind of walks into them, forgets about them. And that's pretty easy clean up for Raph, and he gets the T2. And you know, he's quite well set up to just play the game now, as a normal game. Going for a double troop center. He's got a few more troopers plaguing him, but well, they are going to get a couple of workers here. Got basic training. So this guy's just killing that one off in one volley. So really though, 2 troop centers and start bumping things out, just play it out as a normal game. I don't really know if there's much difference between the players here, we'll have a look. It's sort of really even because you've got to consider he's been mining Nova instead of that carbon. So pretty even game, even worker counts. Sort of a natural reset to it. But at the moment Raphael is on the defensive for the time being. Grenooli should be careful though not to lose both of these groups of troopers. Now, splitting your troopers into little groups like this can be good to find damage and stuff, but I don't really know, like this is such a defensive base already because of everything that's happened before. And there's not like a need to have so many farms out exposed at the moment, so there's little opportunity for this. I think to me this feels like a game where you kind of just want to have all your troopers together and you try to brute force a few things. So you try to take a favourable trade, or you try to just, you know, snipe one farm at a time. There's not really any opportunities to get into the carbon really and do some damage. And you'll lose a few troopers, but does kill a worker here. So probably a good trade. I think you maybe got another one here. Not too sure if this is the one from earlier or not. I don't truly understand the rate of decay. I think it might be. It's decaying quite quickly. It really is like 2 workers or so ahead here. Pretty much just what he's killed. This could be bad for him just to lose these troopers here. Because what he really tends to like to do is try and get to T3 very quickly. Since it's only about 17 minutes in the game, he's just built his 2 buildings and he's going to try and cut some corners here. Which is kind of not really good for him to be choosing this new carbon location, which Raphael does see with his scout here, while he's pressing him, and you can see that all the troopers are racing across now. And Really, it's trying to cut the corners, but he's going to have to keep building troopers now. But he might find himself, you know, at a disadvantage in terms of numbers here. He's got his armor. He's going for his upgrades from the war center. Might make a little bit of an impact, but not too much here. He's gone in. You can see the patrol, you know, ahead of time there. You see the re-patrol here from Raphael, but you know this kind of bugged out a bit. They're like running. I don't know if he told them to run away there because he was just panicking a bit, but he's really thrown that. And look at the opportunity that this has just opened up for Raphael here. I'm surprised because he did just scout that. He should be going straight for these guys in the carbon. He's actually going up to the top carbon. Interesting. Maybe he considers this guaranteed damage, I'm not sure. But he is taking a lot of attrition here from the turret because you can't perfectly snake round it. I think he could have killed maybe the same amount or more here and not actually lost his troopers. That maybe would have been a bit better. But he's definitely killed quite a few troopers. But Grenooli does start T3 here. And he's much further ahead here because I think the farms have only really just been placed down. Grenooli's maybe just had a little bit longer to have his economy set up the way he wants. He doesn't actually have much farms. He's maybe just not had to make his... I suppose he never built all the mounted troopers and stuff. He's just technically saved more food over the long run, I suppose. With all the free food that they're getting from the nurse. Grenooli start counter-attacking here. Maybe bait Raphael into... No, he's cut his trooper production. He's just sort of made just enough to sort of defend this. And he's trying to get up to T3 himself. He's got his 2 buildings, he starts it now. Grenooli gonna come back. I think really, if Raphael can like defend his lead now, with that sort of 9 worker lead, he should be in a good spot here. Just got to weather the storm from T3 that'll happen from Grenooli, but technically it doesn't have an actual building yet. No mech factory. Got a ton of carbon. Can definitely afford it. I'm not sure why he's not built it ahead of time here. Building a gate. Interesting. Trying to sneak around with his troopers right now. You're going to have to drop double airbase, I would have thought, in this situation. Maybe he considers the strike mech just a complete waste here, but I would always like just the ability to build one, because it can scout ahead for you, and you know, you could have it sitting at this Nova while your air flies into the spots it can't go to. Those troopers that he sent round, going to be looking for a bit of damage here. Not really finding too much though, because you can see between the nice spawn of these tree clusters and Raphael's good walling here, very safe. That's one less thing to worry about right now. And the fighters are being produced, but not very quickly. See anti-air troopers being built at sort of the same rate, and Raphael hits T3 as well. And we'll see what he decides to do. Double air base here in the corner with a power droid. But not really any room with the way they built his walls and stuff. And really actually sending his fighters across. Typically normally see him like sit and build up to like 6 or so, but really when you're ahead like this you want to get them out ASAP, straight across. Try and out micro those very few anti-air troopers or just, you know, move around them. Abuse the mobility. You should get a worker here. There is a fighter out here. We go for the trade. I really needs to turn around here, kill it, yep. He needs to pay attention though. Does get shot off, that's not the worst thing. But double heavy anti-air troopers here. So invest in that little upgrade. It's really going to help as a little bit of a differential for him to get his fighter production going. Not have Grenooli like hang around just one tapping each one as it comes out. So he should be quite safe now. Set command center down. Grenooli doing the same though. Just going to really getting his farms up here. But he can't, maybe just needs to catch up in his farm count really. Because he cut a bit of corners. And yeah, both are air civs, so the air that they build, they can invest in shields later if they go up to tech level 4. Fast fighter, advanced fighter, etc. And then they can play that as like a core unit as well later on in the game, this being expanded fronts. They can make attackers and interceptors. So it's good to see that this is equal in that regard. I think what that does lead itself into is a lot more passive-aggressive airplay. They're going to focus on their economies a bit and just use the air as the harassing tool. Not so likely to see early forwards and stuff, I wouldn't think. No, both could technically do that. They could both go into artillery. Both got good artillery tech. Third command center here. Third already up here for Raphael. And I'm just going to feel like a little bit of a boring sort of boomish game. I'm going to turn the speed up just a little bit and remind myself that I have a coffee before it gets cold. I think it's been a pretty decent game so far. Like, really living up to his newfound inter status. And I'm going to take a trade there. Gets a worker. Not too bad if he gets away here. Ooh. Getting a little bit cute with the micro there, but you know, he will lose it. But that's not too bad. Just 3 fighters left over here. No, there's another 3, you know, hidden over here. So it's about 6-4 at the moment, and that's yeah, that's nothing. Like you see the troopers go out and do something. Are they going to do that? They don't really have much point to them. Unless he maybe makes like a forward fortress. Then you could garrison them for a bit of extra attack. Would be interesting to see, because you could technically do that in like this sort of stupid, like when you're both air civs in this type of game. You could technically go for like an early forward if you built maybe like a heavy weapons factory. Or you can't make in the anti-air troopers. You could put yourself in like a position of power and get a fortress up. For example, I think if Grenooli like had that built here, you know, on all these farms that he's invested in, that would feel quite bad. And it would be the same principle here for Raphael if it was out and, you know, locking down these novas and stuff. See a little bit of diversification. There's a couple of strike mechs coming out here for Raphael, which could be quite annoying. I don't know if he's even built a mech factory still. No. So having no mech destroyer would be a bit of a problem. You can rely on the fighters for a bit of DPS and maybe make a bomber to try and, you know, move them on. He's really been very... He's just... Ever since T2, he's pretty much just been, you know, always out on the map, being very aggressive. And, you know, for the games that we've gone over before, that's usually actually a fault of his sometimes, because he overtrades and loses, you know, a lot of momentum, and then eventually he can't, like, defend himself properly. You know, from some sort of meaningful push or forward. Or tech advancement. Say if he's lost all his air over the course of the game and then his opponent goes T4 and hits him with, you know, fast fighters or gets T4 before him because of it. Because if you lose your fighters and your opponent's got fighters, you've got to rebuild your fighters and you have to keep investing. Strike mechs are out here, so he gets a little bit of advanced warning of this. He really needs to kind of, I would say he needs to get like a mech factory. He probably should have just had one in general when he can afford it. You see they're tanking some shots here and like scouting for the air as well. That's opened this up for Raphael to be more aggressive. And you see he can just set them ahead and he always sees where the army is, and you know he's got pressure as well. He doesn't need to rely on the fighters to do damage. And it's just making the AI terrible for the fighters defending here. And worst of all, he's locked out of this spot. So he can't rely on bombers to move these on. He can't finish this mech factory power core. He's going to build it somewhere else. Probably up in the back here, really. And then he's losing access to all these. Like, look how many farms are being denied right now. I mean, Grenooli was very ready to like think about, you know, going T4. Raphael, on the other hand, he's just booming. Booming hard here. But he's going to go into the forwards now, because Grenooli's just so open now, right? See double heavy weapons factory, so you can start getting the artillery out. I think Grenooli could have technically gone up to T4 if he cut some, you know, use his space for it a little bit. I'm getting motivated right now. I don't think it's the solution. I think he should have just went T4 and at least had that as like a way to try and get out of this, I suppose, but really this all stems from just not having the ability to make mech destroyers, in my opinion. It's going to be triple heavy weapons factory, just pumping out some AIM mobiles and then, you know, some artillery. And this is a bit of a problem. There's too many workers here in this Nova file. A lot of them just stuck and bumping. He's trying to use the bombers over here. And Raphael could build a fortress as well. He's just moving behind this. Pretty strong play. And all he has to do is just keep building artillery, keep the pressure on. Even if Grenooli did go T4, you know, kill off a lot of his workers and stuff, he's still got this like damage in the base, he's still got this threat. I think you'd be more inclined, like if you kept all these alive and you're gonna go for a trade here, and you upgraded them to just try and, you know, like wipe the army out with it. And then you could start building attackers, I suppose, as well. Which wouldn't have been an option in vanilla. So you're going for the trades here, but it's got this A mobile just always being annoying. And this is so long that like all these workers, probably like 30 workers or so, like a good fraction of the economy, probably like a third of the economy, just not active. And look how many artillery are out now with 3 heavy weapons factories just pumping them all out. Although fortresses tend to stop this dead in its tracks, you know, there's not much stopping it here and going round. And so many as well, and being a civ that can get these up to heavy, get +1 range for them. He's on the way to T4 now as well. You can build a fortress. That's just going to make sure this location's always locked down, and then the cannons will join in as well. Pretty difficult to clear this out at this point. And I think kind of just going through the motions here. Now all these workers are going to be killed off. Does manage to stop the fortress here, but I really believe Grenooli's playing for anything. He's on the way to T4, but look at the economy. What he could have maybe done during this is got one over here, but just build a few more sneaky command centers and rebuild his farms. He needs his food production. And he could be back on these right now, but again, the artillery are just knocking at the door. Grenooli does hit T4. Raphael just about to hit T4. It's really, what can you do with the air? But I do think if he didn't go for that motivator and he cut some corners when this, you know, started happening, he could have been T4 a little while ago and actually lost a lot less and spent a lot less time with idle workers. Because we often forget how stupidly good fighters can be against like heavy weapons. And particularly, they would have opened it up as well to go Mounties. Because presently he's been relying on the fighters to like keep these alive from Mounties. But if you've got like advanced fighters and you know these fighters have to run away from you, it gives you a window to actually like hit these with some Mounties. Not really any strikes there anymore. And the command centers are going to go down. The air, fast fighter upgrade here, shield just kicked in. Trying to kill some workers, you know. There's quite a few like on this left hand side that were sort of vulnerable. Because it's just, you know, there's a lot of carbon processors and houses here, there's not really any like garrison space other than the turret. So a lot of workers going to die, but at the same time Raphael's still got this army just built up, right? And he'll be able to get the heavy artillery if he so chooses. But definitely a lot of workers dying here. Got some batteries to try and protect this sort of core. They're kind of an important area. This could, you know, keep powering the heavy weapons factories and stuff. Getting a few strike mechs here just to make sure it doesn't get mounted. That's some good hidden command center over here. What we really needs to watch for is that, you know, Raphael can play for the air as well, and he still has his fighters and he's upgrading them to advanced fighters now. So between having the advanced fighters and then this army, you know, that's a huge amount of pressure. This can hit the front and these can zoom round, and Grenooli might not be able to rebuild his fighters that he's used there to sort of blitzkrieg and do some damage. Building another command center right next to Raphael here. I swear I heard a Berserker get built. I mean, maybe. There's a few strikes here though, and he's got advanced fighter now. Surely not. And as he said, they can go around the outskirts and start killing workers, shutting down command centers. When will they leave the nest? Many of them. Got up to 8. I do believe they got like armor and +1 from there. Like, there's like 5 strikes here though. They'll fall over. There's a few fighters here as well. I'm really gonna call it. They're not even gonna see the Berserkers. They're not even gonna see them. It's just a tease. We're going to the second game. Oh my, interesting map. Food store, food warehouses. I'm sure these don't do anything, right? Not like giving you 1 million food for free. No. Alright, they don't do anything. They're just for sure. Wait, it says it does. Oh, it does give you food income. 5. 5 per in-game minute. That's OP. So much food. 5. It's like 50 food in 10 minutes, you know? It's insane. They both start with 1 though. I wonder if that even like feels any different. It's such a low amount, I can't imagine it does. And look at the food. A few EOPs, some berries that almost blend into the map here. That's really about it. Oh, there's nerfs. But how many? 4. You could maybe mount me. There's quite a lot of EOPs in them berries. Yeah. Probably a good mounty one, really. And Grenooli got Gungans. And Raphael got Naboo. Interesting. Lore. The Naboo and the Gungans fighting out for domination of the planet. I see a lot of luring. Both players luring the OPs closer. Trying to save that carbon. So you can keep the worker production going and save the carbon by doing this and then go for the mounties. You've already got the nurseries. I'm doing a little bit of a better job luring his. Let's have that Age of Empires deer luring experience though. Which you'd think would probably be easier than playing on normal speed, but I don't think anything's ever made me more angry than the deer in that game. They are fickle. Oh, double carbon processor, okay. So maybe just setting up for the farms. Really, on the other hand, yeah, playing kinda legit, I suppose. We've got a lot of workers on food, like both of them. Seems like a kind of a legit game, I guess. A few workers rallying to the berries here. I'm gonna build the food processor. So maybe be a few on the berries and then it'll just be farms, right? A bit of an awkward idle moment here. He's going to run back as well. He's a little bit late on this. Let's have this one. Processing on down. So just completely ignoring the berries here, Grenooli. These do have less, because like the base vanilla ones have got 125 I think, and these have got 100. And then there's another one, the blue ones I think have got 150 in expanding fronts. But it's still like, it's a little bit of food. You see you don't want to like oversat, there's just 3 workers here. They'll just bring that in now and again. You know, it's just the economy of little amounts of food trickling in. And Troop Centre. I think what this can maybe come down to is that someone just like... This is like a very interesting T1, you know? There's a lot of ways to play it. And I think, you know, if you absolutely nailed it, you could actually create a lead, like quite a big lead that you could exploit, like early T2. So you see if someone, you know, just does it better. Which I think in this case it's going to be Raphael, because he's built 2 less farms. He's up to T2. Grenooli's still 200 foot off as well. And like the power core is already... See, this could be like the early rush win. Just from like the difference in how well I execute the build order is. And, you know, early, he saved that carbon, got that second carbon processor. I don't know if that's actually going to show in terms of how efficient it's been, but it's kind of even. It's really just the food's been executed better. But it does feel like these guys have been very, you know, inefficient over here. There's a lot of carbon, but maybe they've just been throwing carbon too late. I don't know. So Raph almost T2. He's building up the troopers and just 1 troop center. But there should be about 5 or so that you can just send out straight away to do some damage. Grenooli's not actually clicked T2 yet. He's mucked up. It's like he feels like he shouldn't make any more farms, but he's sort of stuck. The food income's just not really enough. And he did miss the COP over here, which is kind of the difference, right? But now these 5 troopers are, you know, they're walking his way. Just the way to click T2 now, but like they're almost here, the troopers now. They'll be getting range as well. And they're going to knock him off the berries for sure. He's going to need to make trooper recruits to defend his carbon. But, you know, when they get +1, there's 5's a good amount to just like be really microable. And you can abuse that range. And a 1v1 as well, there's not much lag, so. Not a triple troop center here. Now, you could quickly just wall this, which would have been great. Because it would buy him a lot more time, but now they're in. And, you know, you can just start a step. He needs to kill the troopers. The idea, he should press this as much as he can while he has the range advantage and just kill these troopers. Because then it always creates an environment where every trooper that he builds at home, you know, is like an extra trooper that he's got on his opponent. We can just keep culling these. Quite a lot have actually gone up here. He did go for a second troop center, he's not trying to go T3 off of this. Doing a little bit of kiting here. He's just all 3 range. Grenooli did get a turret up here. I don't know, I kind of think you could have just won the game here earlier. If you just pressed it a little bit, but maybe been a little bit too cautious. Or just playing for fun and doesn't want to win that quickly. I don't know, but it kind of looked like he had Grenooli there with his pants down. Just because he like balled his T1 so much. But a lot more troopers on the way now because they go up to double troop center production. Building a turret here just to cover sort of an entrance point. Just in case there's any sneaky counterattacks. Grenooli never actually closed this top part out, despite reclaiming it, and you know, he's just going round again. It's a pretty good angle into the carbon here. And it sort of camps the production a little bit as well. Grenooli on the other hand trying to counterattack. So this second group that's getting sent out by Raphael is going to get caught, intercepted in the middle of the map and killed off. But it's not really a bad trade, especially when he's got a bit of pressure here. And Grenooli tried to wall it out like you should have done earlier. But again, it didn't get much health on that, and there's a lot of DPS, you know, with there being so many troopers here. So they can kill off that wall. And the carbon marker is looking pretty inefficient. Grenooli's little amount that won that trade trying to get in here, but you know, double trooper production. Raphael's very on it with his economy here. A lot of farms, a lot of workers in carbine. He can just pump out the troopers all he wants. Whereas the cracks are showing here in Grenooli's base and his economy. You see he's got some farms that he's not rebuilding. And look at his resources, it's so low as well, and he's got nothing banked up. There's Raphael's got about 100 of each on him. You know, keeping the production going. And little by little, getting some trades here, killing some workers, killing some troopers. The second turret being built there. Yeah, I'm gonna move him on from that spot now because there's not really much angles now. But you could just start going for the farms or like bring all those troopers together. Just want a little bit of a little trade here in the middle. There's maybe those guys from earlier that have been killed off. I think what I would do now here in Ralph's situation is just I would sit here with what troopers I have and start going for the farms, right? And then you just go up to T3 and you kind of win the game. Like, look at the difference in the economies. And we can look at the work counts as well. We've got 40 to 34. It's like a 6 worker lead there. But I think the biggest thing is like the farm, you know, like the infrastructure build up. He even went for a 3rd troop center himself just to equal out. Make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed. But here we go into this spot now. We come up and kill some of the workers and just kill the farms as well. And there's not really anything Grenooli can do about it. Like, look at how low the trooper count is. And this isn't even all of them, because there's still more to come. They're still being built. Actually, troop centers, just pumping them out. Even getting housed. Needs to build more houses at a time now. Because he's got like 4 things building all the time. Catches up on you. You kind of probably have to have like a dedicated worker just always building the houses now. It's like you keep this position of dominance and you know you either threaten just running into your opponent's base once you've rolled them down a bit, or you just go T3, you upgrade your troopers, and you should beat your opponent T3 because you're basically always standing in their farms shooting at them when they try to bring the lettuce home. So isn't maybe angling to just maybe dive the carbon? Which you could definitely do. He's got so many more troopers, and you know you can kill these off as well. Doesn't quite have the war center yet, you could probably afford it. Add that in. It's not mandatory though. It would help when he wants to like shoot these buildings. Have that extra +1 on every volley. And he's got so many more troopers he can just patrol in here. The turret is just, it's more of a deterrence, it's not gonna auto win. And then you can just dive the workers, because he's got so many bodies here. Choosing not to though. Looks like he's toying with them a little bit. More troopers can go into the farms. I think you could just be standing here though, killing all the glurglings. He's killing the ones in the farms now. And I think that's probably going to be it. There's no way out of this for Grenooli. He's lost too much. And his base is always... He's got a lot of walling, but his base still just, you know, it's very open. You can just walk into these 2 points of interest. And the 3rd game. Go into that. Oh, the big hill map. Welcome to the hill map. Baby elephants, these little gulls. I don't know if they kind of look like a deer as well. Don't know. Or a rhino. Like at face value to me they always look like little baby elephants, but maybe they're baby rhinos. Anyway. Ugh. The New Republic. And the Black Sun, so 2 of the new civs. I think they really got much that makes a difference early game. They at least have Mounties though, so they got that over the First Order. And both of them do. So the Galvals go in the nursery. There's a few Yopies. It was nice that these are like trapped up against the edge of the map. There's a Falumpa set, and these are those berries I was talking about earlier. The Jogan fruit bush, the Joe Rogan bush. 150 food. And sometimes these can be worth it, these little ponds. You get the blue frogs, and if you get like the blue frogs and maybe like a couple of shorefish, be cool. They just tend to be spaced out though, it doesn't feel super worth it, but you know, in low settings like this it can actually make a bit of a difference. Because there's just not much food, but this is going to be nice for a food processor, I think. I suppose it will be Mounties, I guess. Yeah, you got a lot less on food. A lot on carbon. I'm assuming that's the plate. Oh, doesn't have a very healthy looking fruit bush though. It's really weird that way that's spawned. I don't know if I would try and make it here. I think it's the good little farming angle. Have I done this game before? Seems familiar. Maybe I've watched this one before, I don't know. But not much happening, you know, T1. Kind of just waiting for what happens. Maybe I have watched this before. Severe deja vu. Troop center early here. As we kind of expected, just by looking at the food distribution. I don't think I managed to get to T2, maybe it's just for that third building, but he's already got the 3 builds. Must be a power core coming. Really, on the other hand, getting his down as well. I think he kind of knows to kind of always try and get it up early-ish. For the amount of mounties he must endure. Playing Raph a lot. If it's an option, he's always going to do it. I'd rather mountie than be mounted, right? And these EOPs were sort of free just because they're up against the edge. They don't really have much place to run to other than around here. So the food processor for the berries picks them up, feels good. And Troop Center power core down. Another food processor over here. Be a little bit exposed. Scout being annoying. It's kind of just being idle though. I don't think it's anything malicious. I think we're asking for that. The T2 instead is just wanting to build his troopers up as he goes. It's Grenooli, on the other hand, halfway to T2, so done a lot better, but it's kind of the OP difference, right? Because these are all the way over here, they never got lured or anything like that. Grenooli's are up against the edge of the map, so they're easy to just eat with a food processor. So Grenooli definitely ahead here, but not being very diligent building up his troops. And you know, he's a T2 for a while. I think he could really be out across the map and like putting the pressure on Raphael here, because he's just so much further behind. Look at how long he's got to get to T2. I think we really had this set up quite early. Like this, these troopers could probably be about here, and like 2 more if he properly like macroed them. And that'd be kind of bad for Raph here. If like these guys collide and they hit like this side where the workers are exposed, and then they get range before these, and they kind of try and bait them to come further out, where you can micro against them, pick them off. Really, he's only got really about 3 here. And it's kind of looking topsy-turvy here, where Raphael pushing out on him now. Despite being so far behind in terms of getting to T2. Quite a nice, easy defensive setup here for Grenooli. I'll close this out here, I think. So really, the only sort of entrance area to the base. What does suck though is like just having a hill here. You can see that's just about to be exploited as he tries to take this trade. I'm gonna win that just because he's got the buff from the hill, so they take less damage, do more damage, like 20% or 25% or something like that. Oh, this guy's off too. Yeah, we're gonna try and build some houses behind. Oh, he's a carbon collector, so he's really just trolling, is he? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and mine this tree over here. Oh, an elephant. So, same again, same sort of amount of troopers being sent out here from Raph. He's slowly building some walls at home, a little bit of light walling. I wonder if you can build a... Maybe you can't build a shipyard with these shallows. Probably not. It'd be cool if you could. Just like one shipyard with a power droid. Just getting you a few extra workers. And that'd be kind of cool in the ponds, but you might not be able to do it with that shallow. I'm not too sure. Kind of thing you can only really see if you're there playing. You try and place it. Really, just pushing that force away. There's not really much angles to do any damage here. If Grenooli went on the aggressive though, like he is now, maybe some angles for him to get in here. This sort of second carbon that's been built up, but you can't close it off. Nicely up against the edge. You could just put two prefabs here and close it. You shouldn't need to though, if he keeps control of this area between the 2 points. Grenooli coming in here for a trade now. You sort of caught him a little bit here on the patrol. But the command center beams as well, and it's kind of just making Grenooli pull right back here. Where you're just basically guaranteed to lose like an extra 2 troopers as he does that, as he retreats. He says the hill, scurry up and try and get a few more trades, but they're kind of just gonna, you're gonna lose them all. There's a few more troopers coming here, but it's about the same amount he's being chased by. Best not to roll the dice on that. Oh, not building any more trades, just building just enough. Dropping another T2 building. Oh, bad patrol I'm assuming. Over these trees and this rock, because it's like half the control group is fighting Grenooli's here. So let's Grenooli put some pressure, and then it's probably going to mean Raph has to build more troopers now. Grenooli on the other hand, he's built quite a bit of food. There's war center now. Maybe look to get that spaceport soon. Onto the Nova, just get the spaceport instead of the Nova. Got a lot of food. I think you probably have just T3'd. If this is just a spaceport. And you can sell his excess carbon. He's taking this trade. He got right up against the edge of the wall. He just sort of sandwiched, and that's just like basic military theory here. You do a flank, but then he just kills off one side of the flank first and then goes for the other side. They're not coordinated enough. It's kind of just a big free win there for Raphael, and he can go and counterattack now. Grenooli spaceport, and you're going to be closing things out, but these workers are going to be very exposed on the Nova. There's a little bit of a gap there, isn't there? We notices that one. And Raph getting a little bit stuck in the middle of the map here, killing off those 2 troopers, but should be pressing. Grenooli off to T3. Raph, on the other hand, nowhere near it at the moment. Not at all. Not too many farms here. The berries are finished. A ton of workers on over here. So I think there's going to be some absolute spaceport mafia madness going on here. To get the resources he needs. You can see them being manipulated here at the bottom right. They're buying a lot of food. Basically, instead of building the fight, he's buying the food he needs. So he can attack up. And he starts it now. He's Grenooli pressed. Grenooli, on the other hand, almost T3. Manages to wall everything out. So these troopers, you know, even though there's a lot more of them than Grenooli's got, they can't really do anything. Not much room to get the old double airbase. This is bold. I think he wants to build an airbase here. Raphael almost walking in at that point though. Wait, is this walled? No, this is walled. Can't do it. Oh, what's... He's like letting him in. He's got a strike mech on the way though. Oh no. Yeah, that's dead. That was bad. And this is kind of getting damage it just shouldn't get. Which, you know, was a bad angle here, bad arc to defend, but he moves out of it. Again, he's still just getting so much damage you shouldn't get here. And that's buying him time, right? Because he's almost T3 himself. And that's just a huge success here for Raphiel. I'm getting to use those troopers to keep Grenooli in the base with that lead that he had for T3. And you know, he's building up strike mechs now, but you know, I don't think strike mechs can really do too much to him. Fairly little in. I guess he could sit here actually. That'd be kind of good. And this little Nova here, but I don't see a mech factory, I suppose. Maybe. To build a cheeky bomber. Get the CC here, protect those workers. They've got that garrison point. He goes, sits behind here. It's good. Yeah, force the bomber basically. Just a one air base, is it? One fighter on the way, but thankfully it's not two, and then it's not four because he's had to make some bombers. So he's got his own fighter he can maybe defend with, and Raphiel actually gonna pull away. Maybe wait till he's got three here. I don't think he's seen double air base though. Really gone straight into like triple CC. Oh, he's got these strike mechs pressuring. You know, I don't think he should run away. I think he should just keep like microing them around. I would put these guys in box formation, and I would be all up in that. I'd be standing here, being super annoying until I see a mech factory built and a mech destroyer come out of it. At the very least. He's built the mech factory. Make the mech destroyer. I think he really needs to at this point when he runs away like that. But one bomber ain't gonna stop me. Because otherwise they're just kind of like, they feel like a wasted unit. You gotta feel the touch of the mech destroyer on your strike mech to really be compelled to retreat. He's got good upgrades as well. Good DPS. And we got a lot of fighters here now for the double airbase, you know, it really builds up. And yeah, I don't like this. What is this Kickstart-esque antics? Building up all these anti-air turrets. And it might as well be my catchphrase that anti-air turrets are deterrents, not counter. In 1v1s. Like, I just much rather. It doesn't matter if you're an air civ or not, you've just got double air base to defend. Unless you've got A mobiles and you're being aggressive. That's it. Look how useful this turret is. You're still losing workers. You should always have your own control group of air just threatening to kill these for doing this. What's free fighters gonna do? I would take that trade while being shot by a turret. I wonder if it'd be better, you know, because obviously there's a little element to this that, you know, might bother you in the Grenooli shoes here, is playing a civ that's not an air civ, and building these fighters in the mid game here, against these, you know, like an air civ, like New Republic. I wonder if it would be just a little bit better to just not bother with the turrets, you know, build your own fighters, and then maybe try and like tech into the, you know, the stupid battery things that they've added with expanding fronts that are just super strong. Get them in some research tracking, just like ahead of time, like into the mid game of T3, so that they're sort of set up for any sort of T4 air that might come your way. Oh, we can see the mech destroyer plays. The civ that's got way too much, including mech healths. And moving into the centre, I kind of forget that there's a bit of an objective element to the centre. You look at all this Nova and ore. And that's going to be nice for a civ like New Republic, right? Because you think, oh, I'm going to make 1 million Jedis this game. So he's getting all these mech destroyers together. We're going to try and really outbid. It's like Grenooli's doing the same sort of thing, but I don't think he's got nearly enough to compete with this amount. And then there's the fighter differential as well. And he's got a few fighters here, but you know, it's about as much as you can get from one airbase. And he's pressuring here, and he's probably expecting that there shouldn't be ground units out here from Raph, but there absolutely is. And he's got a few upgrades for them. So he's pretty well set up for that. He doesn't necessarily need to go, you know, into T4 here. A lot of options when you can have a civ like this in 1v1s. It's kind of strong. A lot of CC, so very T3 heavy. Boom-esque. Almost like our Game Ranger GBG days. You know, 8 command center. Make many boom. Really very unambitious with this fortress. Just really right on the edge. Like, I think he doesn't have the rights to be in the center of the map right now. Well protected. I would have liked him to just be a bit more like build it here or something, you know. And the air gonna come for another fly around here. It'll be annoying. Straight into the fortress. Oof. One. Almost two fighters there. What is this boy up to? I wonder, has he been there all day? No. Been there a little while, but just scouting. Speaking of the scout's still alive, just hanging out here. Baby elephant never made it to Raph space. So the heavy weapons factory and the mech factory's here. And I think we're maybe going to see a fortress. Maybe try and, you know, like secure the ore here. It's going to be quite a strong setup. Like going into tech level 4, there's New Republic. It's not. Especially with all these command centers. Not really got the food going. We've got all the upgrades as well. Putting food into that. Should be able to click up soon though. Grenooli on the other hand, going to be T4 a little bit ahead of time. Maybe you can make use of that to get some cannons out of the fortress. Try and knock down the fort that Raph's just building here. That would really help if you could do that. Look at Raph's sort of vision here. He's fanning things out around the edges, and he's maybe searching for holocrons, is he? I mean, he's got 2 already. That's the 3rd one on its way home. That's going to be big for him. Just all that extra Nova. But not like game winning, because there's, you know, there's quite a bit of Nova on this map. Especially if you get into the centre. So you can definitely survive without it, but being New Republic can make a lot of Jedi. And that's why I think this getting all this set up ahead of time is so strong, because then the Jedi have got, like, you know, a lot to play with, right? They've got fortresses to hang back on with a few support units. Cannons to protect, and then cannons to deny. Very difficult. Black Sun, though. You know, if you got into that trooper tech, you'd be quite good against the Jedi. They get that extra upgrade, I think. Kill the troopers, kill the Jedi quicker. They do have their own Jedi as well, which you can go for. The Night Sisters, Night Mothers, I believe. Some of these civs sort of blur in my brain initially. It's T4. I don't think any cannons on the way though. Oh, there is. So he gets these out, starts going for the fortress, because he knows it's there, because it killed his workers that were on the Nova. Maybe get a shield. Snake round a little bit. We've got another fortress here. Yeah, let's have to worry about, you know, if Raph goes D4 and there's like air as well though. Like how overextended the parts of his economy are. Because there's a few fighters there, and you know you definitely get shields and maybe fast fighters, and you make use of them. And he's actually building more of them anyway, so. Because he forced concentration. Jedi Master being built. Really doing the same. Oh, that's interesting. One of the hollows though. The cannons are out here, and he needs to get on that fortress ASAP. I don't think he should have built up to 3. I think he should just build, you know, as they go one at a time. Keep them, get the DPS out. Master on the way, and he needs to protect these. He should have had a shield, really. I think it's too easy for these mech destroyers to actually sneak up on him and kill him, like 1 or 2. You can kill 1 or 2 and then bring the Jedi. He's hiding the Jedi. There's the Jedi. A little bit late to the party here. Convert one of these. God, he nearly died for it. But, you know, like the mech destroyers could have come forward. A lot of this is... Yeah, it's a bit similar. He's got the 50 health upgrade. Maybe he's just accepted that this fortress was a little bit, you know, sketchy anyway. He is trying to repair it though, but I don't know if it's worth. He's quite well set up here. I suppose you could always say, whatever ore I spend, you know, I can get back here if I keep it alive. He could find better angles though for his masters and get onto the cannons. Oh, this one's gonna die. I would like to see the, you know, like the mechs go up first, take the brunt of the damage, and then the Jedi could just operate freely. But he gets the cannons down. You could take this trade as well. You could actually just use the Jedi in combat, or you could run them around to just take fire, because they're so bulky. You're really not paying attention though, so what's even better is just luring the units into your units when someone's not paying attention. And the Night Mothers are out here. And, you know, it's going to come down to... Micro, I suppose. Pretty sure both can convert Jedi, so... I don't know if there's much difference, actually. We'll have a quick look. Yeah, they pretty much got everything, haven't they? So you got Faith in the Force. These are the two that, you know, be quite impactful here. And Masters can turn other Jedi. Yeah, they don't actually get purged in Faith in the Force. That's the problem, right? Kinda forgot that. So that's kind of like a big advantage that Grenooli could have here with his Masters. He can convert. And when Raphael tries to convert them back, he can just have his die. He could also have Faith in the Force where it takes longer for them to convert as well. So as you get into like decent amounts of them, could be a problem. We have to remember he lost a lot of his units here, so... And there's the air equation, you know, coming into things now. You're looking for any angles of the base that are open. He does have his advanced turrets, and you know he's got a big core of turrets that he built here earlier. Definitely going to help. This Master just running in here a little bit blasé. And Raph kind of maybe a little bit stumped what he wants to do for his army here. Like he knows he wants to build Masters and stuff, but then you know he might consider that whole I don't get faith in purge issue. Cannons again going for this fortress. I would really like to see troopers though. They get really good grenadiers as well. I don't like this relying on mech destroyer nonsense because they're not very good for the Civ. I mean, it's fine to have them for a time, like T3 into early T4, but you know I'd like to see slide into troopers and grenadiers with these Night Mothers. Because really, like, everything that this Civ's built to do is, like, anti-Jedi, really. You get the extra damage on your troopers against them, you've got the Purge and the Faith, and your own Night Mothers. And troopers are just always, like, a good core. And then when he's trying to make mechs as well, you've got, like, these really, like, potent Grenadiers that've got, like, a bit extra health and stuff. And do a little bit extra, like, flat damage, I think, to, like, art and mechs, I think. Or maybe it's just an artillery, they get a little bit bonus, but it's nice. And it steals those cannons, which takes the potency out of that push. But it's still very spread across the map, so like even if he loses this a little bit, it's not a huge deal. I've not really seen Grenooli go for any conversions yet, like or slam down any sentry posts or vision. There's one now. Definitely going for like just the mech angle here, relying on the health, which is why, you know, Grenadiers would be so great here. And there's some conversions now. Converting the workers, try to build this fortress and shooting the rest. Imperative that that one doesn't go up. Could have his own cannons right now though, like chipping away, which would be good. It's like, why build mech into mech when he's got 100 more health than you? And then you can have like amazing grenadiers. Yeah, they deal additional damage to heavy weapons. Where's the thing? For the extra damage. It's another thing that they've got like extra health or something. I can't remember what it is. Or am I imagining it? Could be that I'm marking the waters with other stuff. Oh, is it not a tech? Am I in the crap? It's in the war center. No, is it like detonator, like grenadier detonator thing? My god, my brain. It's right there. Yeah, they get extra 10 health and they cost less Nova. The less Nova is like super cool as well. Because they feel a lot more spammy. So I have to think about it, like just Trooper, Cannon, you know, Night Mother. Such a good composition. I mean, it's nothing that we're not used to, because it's, you know, it's like a vanilla comp. You see it with like Rebels, Naboo, well not Naboo, Rebels, Republic. Naboo is more like this, right? But then they've got the health on the mech destroyers, so it's more like this. Fortress did go up. This cannon's in a nice spot because it's got these units here and this units here. Chipping away. There's a little bit of lag or something. I don't know what these guys are up to. Like they keep, if they're just resetting their targeting or what. Just stuttering around. I just can't imagine it's lag in a 1v1. Not in the current year. And nobody from Latin America. Or Australia. Or to be honest, anywhere in Europe it's 6 PM these days for games. My god, the lag that we get. All these servers that are owned by like the same companies. With like terrible routing to the rest of the world. A lot of masters out. But again, we've not seen the Night Mothers really press that like big advantage we've talked about. He's trying to run up and do it now, but I mean, he can defensively convert them. You can see that they just die, but he's got a lot, right? So he just needs to be clever. And as long as he's got like a bulky army in front, you know, it buys him a lot of time to run them away, etc. Because then they can shoot at the units. Oh, I didn't even notice this, yeah. There needs to be something else on the map, right? Because he's got such a strong defensive position. So he's got strike mechs coming in here. Heavy strike mechs too, because they just, for whatever reason, they've got full mech upgrades. And they're getting a lot of damage. We know strikes are good. It's workers. And it's like it tried the air earlier, but it doesn't really need that. It's got a few just sitting here. Oh, there's a few. God, these things are sneaking back. A little raid here as well. It's stun locked by all the Master Wars, but this is how you can win games. It's these little sorties, differential attacks here. And then it's just attrition, right? You're cutting off the supply lines basically by killing the workers on the sides. There's a lot of converting going back and forth, but like as I said, like not having the extra health here is horrible. And Grenooli is just unfortunately playing into this by not getting the right units out. It's like he's got the big master upgrade, or master advantage, but he doesn't have the mech advantage. He's just gonna have an everything converted as well. Cannon gets stolen. These things look a little bit derpy when they go to convert things. Nothing feels as clean and crisp as the OG vanilla Jedi Master. The most broken unit. Well, he's been stolen. Confiscated. But these strike mechs are doing work, man. You maybe should have done some walling over here. I mean, you can make mech destroyers as well, so you really should just have mech destroyers over here. Moving these guys on. He's neglecting that, and it's going to bite him, because he's down to 80 workers now. And if we go to Raphael, he's got 140 workers, so it's almost double. It's a 60, he's just going to call GG. He's just feeling it, he's feeling the pain. He's feeling the suffering there. And you can see that like, the army is never that good. Oh, ACs as well, which is just like, that's a really difficult thing to deal with in this position. Because he's just not got the infrastructure for it. Like, you would want to have probably interceptor production, I'm assuming. Or maybe like fanned out. It's hard to fan AA mobiles here though. Because if you look at all the little things you can get stuck on, the ACs definitely get a good angle here. But I think the interceptors, I believe there's there's not one of the subs that can get efficient manufacturing, the armored plate work, and then because they don't have shields, they've got like a base flat 10 health, so they can get a bit of armor across it as well. And then you've got the cheaper ones as well with the manufacturing tech, so interceptors may be the answer there. But GG, well played to both players there. I hope you've all enjoyed the content. As always, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leave a comment, it just helps the channel grow, get to more people. We try to ferry everyone into our GPG Discord server invite, link down below in the description. You find one for the Expanding Fronts mod that this is played on as well. And if you want to support the channel another way, you find a PayPal link down below. Appreciate everything from that, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye bye.